Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. We're really happy to be here with you. And a special welcome to anyone who is new or here for the first time. And to those who are watching on streaming, we're happy to be with you also. So today, together, we'll participate in our usual schedule. We do about 45 minutes of calm abiding with some guidance. We'll have a tea break to greet and catch up with one another. And then you're more than welcome to stay for the Q&A, which is about an hour of Dharma questions and answers and discussion. It's really a very amazing and precious opportunity to be together with other like-minded beings who also want to end suffering in the world, who carry that intention, who act on it by coming here today. Let's take a moment just to realize how precious, how rare this opportunity is. Most beings in the world are struggling so hard just to survive. But we have enough, some of us more than enough. Food, shelter, clothing, medicine, all the things that make up life. More than half the beings on the world don't have those adequately. So that's our great fortune, our good karma. And then I think it comes with a responsibility to use those good conditions to think of all those who don't have them, to practice well, training our minds in love and compassion and wisdom, so we become a source of nourishment for all those beings. We think of all the beings in the world, and many times they're participating in actions, violence, or confusion. And I know for myself, I can feel so disconnected from them in those moments. But we are completely interconnected. Like me, like all of us, they also want happiness. They may be very confused about how to get it, but so am I. They all want freedom from suffering. We're all confused about how to end the suffering. We're so alike in that way, in that deepest place in our hearts and minds. So in moments of tragedy or discouragement or near despair, I think often of the Buddha. Suffering is to be known. Cause of suffering is to be abandoned. Total freedom, liberation is to be realized, and the path is to be followed. These are the four truths of the Noble Ones. So here, in these moments together, and then in our own practice at home, we have this opportunity to practice calm abiding together. This shine, this calm abiding, is a foundational practice for every teaching, every practice, every part of Buddhahood. Because at the foundation, we need to know the nature of our minds. And we can't know them until we slow down, sit down, and watch them. So we participate in shine to step towards seeing reality just as it is, without our exaggerated projections. And it's so important each time we sit to frame our practice in refuge and bodhicitta, because we don't do this alone. And if we try, it won't be very successful. We take refuge in the beings, the practices that are reliable sources of refuge, never betray us or turn on us, but constantly inspire us. And we generate the minds of bodhicitta, a mind that says, I wish to wake up, and I'll follow the path to doing that for only one reason, and that's to end the suffering of others. And when we take refuge and develop our bodhicitta, our practice becomes very expansive, very successful, and is actually the real practice. So this morning together, let's go for refuge and inspire our bodhicitta for those purposes.
Till the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness. Until the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness. until the summit of enlightenment is reached. I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness.
Now we can simply check in with our bodies. In a very general way, just get the sense of, how does my body feel right now in this moment? And relax it. Relax any part that's tense. And at the same time, bring it to a state of alertness. So this relaxation is not too loose. And it's not too tight. It's a very nice middle feeling of suppleness, serviceability. It helps to have a very straight back, to really feel like your bottom on the cushion or chair and your feet connected to the earth. Very stable. And I think it's helpful, or I find it helpful as I meditate every once in a while to check in with the body. Because sometimes as the mind starts to wander, which it inevitably does, I'll find that I have tensed my body up without realizing it. So just occasionally this morning, if it's helpful to you, check back in with your body and relax it again in a relaxed but alert state. And in this time, we can relax our emotions. We can relax our minds. Again, with a sense of alertness. A clear sense of watching, being aware and clear about what seems to be arising, abiding, and disappearing. One of the wonderful things about Shine is that it completely demonstrates to us impermanence. There's nothing that stays. Going, going, going. Once in a while, we reach out and grasp at something, get all tangled in it, entertain it, feed it, but even that will go. So we just sit together. We're not planning anything now. We don't have to remember anything now. And just being here in this moment, supporting one another in our practice. If you're new to the practice, it's quite helpful to come to your breath. If you have another object that you meditate on, that's fine. And the key is to be alert in a relaxed way, a friendly way even, to the way the mind will wander off, and simply bring it back to the object of meditation over and over in a very patient and gentle and precise way. There's no other goal right now. So we'll simply do this till we'll take a short break in about 20 minutes and then continue till Miriam rings the bell. take a short break if you need one.
establish all beings without exception in this state.
Thank you. That was good, wasn't it? Whatever happened, it was good. We have a few announcements before tea time. If you're new, there's 3 bathrooms in the house, upstairs, basement, and behind the kitchen. Is the sound okay in the back? I forgot to ask.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Let's see. What's happening next here? Oh, first I want to thank the about dozen people who came yesterday and purified the altar completely. We pulled everything out and put it back together and cleaned the rooms thoroughly, so it was quite fun. And thank you so much for being with us. We're going to send some photos and the names out in the next e-news, so be watching for us holding our brooms and scrubbing, etc. I think, well, one of the big things coming up, this little note is telling me, is a big KCC fundraiser. I'm just going to take a minute to talk about this. The flyer says it's not a walk, it's not a run, it's a sit-a-thon. So we are going to hold a sit-a-thon in Grant Park on Labor Day in September.
Saturday of Labor Day weekend.
Saturday.
Labor Day.
Yeah, Linda is helping to make this happen. And then Jennifer working hard on it, and Salidra too, I think. And then there's
And Brooke too.
some, and who else?
Brooke.
And Brooke. Okay, fantastic. So it'll be Saturday from 1 to 5. And after the sit, there will be a celebration. So you can sign up to sit, just like, you know, people sign up to run, and you get sponsors who want you to run. This is all about get some sponsors who want you to sit for peace in the world. And they can come sit, or they can just pledge some amount to you. And so you can volunteer to meditate on that day and thus raise funds for KCC. So right now we're seeking Sangha members to sign up for SIT for part of the day and to raise funds by, you know, getting pledges for your SIT. So this could be very fun for those people who are curious about what you do.
Zopa, may I say something?
Yeah, please do.
So we have packets ready if you're interested in sitting, and they're back there. And I don't have a sign-up sheet on the box yet, so don't take it away if you are interested. But I'll come back there in the break and afterwards, and Brooke too if you want, and you can talk to us about how it actually works. I think it's unusual for us to find a way to help raise funds that so fits in what we actually do. It's very exciting to those of us who've been working on this idea that because we believe that practicing does benefit all beings, we can gather and do that. And then beforehand, we can also broaden the base of people that we ask to help support us here, because we really do need funds to keep the doors open and the lights on and all the things that just go on year by year. A board I used to be on, the board member called, this is the money that you raise for things that aren't sexy. But you still have to raise it. So for us to be able to ask people who understand, because they're our friends and community, how important this is to us, and we can help them understand how important it is to everybody, to all beings. We're very happy about this opportunity. So please feel free to talk to me or Brooke, or meet us back there by the packets afterwards.
Okay.
Isn't there's also kind of another piece of the purpose of it, or the opportunity, which is simply to invite possibly semi-interested people to come and sit, whether without worrying about the fundraising part, but just
That's
as
right.
an opportunity for people to who there will be a little bit of teaching and instruction, and so it might be kind of a nice thing if you have somebody who isn't quite ready to come to the Dharma Center, but might feel good.
Yeah, like
about
my partner,
checking it out.
she's really interested, but she's also really shy, so she hasn't made it here yet. But when I told her about the event, she said, "Oh, I could come to the park."
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. So that kind of-
And people can sit for 10. We are going to set it up so that you can come in for 10 minutes and sit, and then get up when your body is done or whatever you experience. The people sitting for donations can sit for 1, 2, 3, or 4 hours, however much you want. It'll run very much like it does when we're here in the sitting section.
So since it's not till Labor Day, we'll have time to let the whole thing soak in and figure out what level you want to participate at. But it is really important to help KCC that we help with things like this. So please think about what level you can help at. Okay, in August, on the back of the board, you can read all about Eric Troublehorn coming and leading a silent retreat for 8 days, Shamata. It's going to be quite amazing. And I think there's something about the Mahamudra program coming up. What can you fill us in?
Thanks, Zopa. Yeah, so next Saturday, I'm leading a 3-hour from 9 to 12 on Saturday on practicing the 4 opponent powers, which is sort of the carrying practice associated with purification. So it's working with regret, guilt, and shame.
Gosh, what fun. And freedom from those, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is
Yeah,
there hope?
yeah, that too.
Since we're already experts at the others. Okay, anything else?
Yeah.
Laura? Yeah.
Just briefly, this is at the level of save the date. We have been working quite for some time to see if we could encourage Ringu Tulku, who's one of the principal teachers within the Karmakagi lineage, to visit us during his fall tour of the United States. And he has agreed to do so. So at this point, it looks like it's, I put it at 95% certainty that everything will come together so that he'll be here over Thanksgiving and the following weekend, and he'll be able to visit the retreat land and also do a 2-day weekend workshop with us. And I think even if it was like 100% sure, I'd still say it was 99% just because things happen in the world. But I think it looks like it's going to come together quite nicely, and he'll be able to do a weekend program with us. And just so save the date, and we'll
We're not
bring
able
more.
to, we're not gonna put it in writing in an announcement until we actually have been given confirmation of these dates. So this is just at the preliminary oral transmission level.
Okay, I think it's tea time. And come back when Miriam rounds us up. Enjoy one another's company.
Yes, it is.
Darn, I would really like to just go around it.
Doesn't make sense.
But it doesn't make any sense that way.